Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
You've been diving into the world of hypnotherapy for weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
Forget swaying watches and clucking like a chicken.
Right.
We're going beyond stage tricks
Absolutely.
to see if this can really help shift those pounds.
Yeah, some really interesting stuff out there.
We've got a stack of articles from health and wellness sites like Women's Health and Healthline,
Okay.
and even Lloyd's Pharmacy in the UK.
Interesting.
Some are a bit skeptical.
Thanks, that. Just,
Some are totally on board.
yeah.
And we even have a personal story from a hypnotherapist who credits the technique with transforming her own relationship with food.
Oh, wow.
Is hypnotherapy just hype?
Yeah. Is it all just hype?
Or can it actually rewire your brain for lasting change?
That's what we want to find out.
Let's find out.
Let's get into it.
So what exactly are we talking about
Yeah.
when we say hypnotherapy for weight loss?
Well, imagine this. You're guided into a deeply relaxed state,
Oh.
kind of like that space between waking and sleep, where your mind is more open to suggestion.
I see.
Then the therapist uses specific techniques to target the thoughts, behaviors, and habits that might be contributing to weight gain.
Okay, so it's not about some mystical mind control.
Right.
More like gently nudging your subconscious in a healthier direction.
Exactly.
I read about this thing called a virtual gastric band,
Oh, yeah?
where you're essentially hypnotized into thinking you've had surgery to reduce your stomach size.
Interesting.
That sounds pretty wild.
Yeah, that one is it is, but the research on its effectiveness
Okay.
compared to general hypnotherapy is mixed.
Really?
Some studies show no significant difference.
Makes you wonder if it's more about the power of suggestion in general rather than that specific technique, right?
Possibly, yeah.
And it really underscores that we need to approach all this with a critical eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, does hypnotherapy for weight loss actually work?
Right.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Exactly the million-dollar question.
Let's break down what the research is actually saying.
Okay, so some sources are cautious.
Mm-hmm.
They point to a lack of robust long-term studies,
Okay.
lots of individual success stories,
Mm-hmm.
some promising smaller studies,
Right.
but not enough to draw definitive conclusions.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there are also studies showing real results.
Mm-hmm.
Weight loss, reduced cravings, even changes in hormones related to obesity.
You're absolutely right. There's one 1998 study
Okay.
that found that people who used hypnotherapy alongside diet advice
Yeah.
lost more weight after 18 months than those who only got the advice.
That's interesting. Long-term impact is what we're after here, not just a quick fix.
Exactly.
It seems like that combination, hypnotherapy plus lifestyle changes, is the key.
I think you're onto something there.
It's about creating a supportive environment for lasting change,
Right.
not just relying on hypnosis as a magic bullet.
For sure.
So if it does work, how does it actually work in the brain? It sounds almost like magic, but there's got to be a scientific explanation, right?
Of course, it's all about tapping into the subconscious mind,
Okay.
the part that operates below our conscious awareness. And guess what?
What?
That's where a lot of our ingrained habits and motivations reside,
Oh,
including those around food.
interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like we're rewiring the programming that's
Yeah.
been running in the background,
If it's-
affecting our eating habits without us even realizing it.
That's a fantastic way to put it. And this is where the potential to address emotional eating comes in.
Because if you're eating because of stress, boredom, or other emotions, you're not even consciously aware of the triggers, right?
Exactly.
So it's much harder to change.
Hypnotherapy, in theory,
Yeah.
can help us uncover those emotional connections, address them, and ultimately break those unhealthy patterns.
I came across this idea of counter symbols to combat cravings.
Oh, yeah.
It's like imagining sending those McDonald's arches floating away on a cloud.
I love that.
It sounds almost silly, but intriguing.
It's about utilizing the mind's natural power of imagery. Instead of fighting those cravings head on, you redirect your attention and give your subconscious a different, more positive image to focus on.
Whoa, it's like a mental jujitsu move,
Yeah,
using your mind's own power to redirect those cravings.
I like that.
Pretty cool, right?
Absolutely. And it really highlights the power of our subconscious.
Yeah.
Hypnosis is simply a way to harness that power more intentionally. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we've established that hypnotherapy isn't mind control,
Yeah.
but a way to tap into your subconscious.
Yeah.
But there are different approaches, aren't there?
Right.
What are some of the types you might come across?
Yeah, good point. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, right?
Right. A common distinction is between suggestion therapy
Okay.
and analysis therapy.
Got it.
With suggestion therapy, the focus is on directly planting suggestions for change.
Okay.
For example, the hypnotherapist might suggest that you find unhealthy foods less appealing, or that you suddenly feel motivated to exercise.
So it's like planting a seed in your subconscious, hoping it grows into a new, healthier habit.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And these suggestions are tailored to your individual goals, of course.
Right.
Analysis therapy takes a different route.
Okay.
It tries to dig deeper, uncover the root causes behind the behavior you want to change.
So instead of just targeting the symptom like overeating,
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out why you might be overeating in the first place.
Precisely. Are you stressed?
Mm-hmm.
Bored? Do you have certain beliefs about food that are driving your choices?
Yeah.
Analysis therapy goes after those underlying issues,
Okay.
hoping to create more lasting change.
I see. It's like getting to the source of the problem rather than just slapping on a bandage.
Exactly. Another point to keep in mind is that hypnotherapy is often used in conjunction with other therapies.
We talked about combining it with diet and exercise,
Right.
making those lifestyle changes, but it can be combined with other types of therapy too.
Yes, it often works hand in hand with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Oh, CBT.
Yeah.
That's where you challenge those negative thought patterns and work on developing coping strategies.
That's the one. The combination of hypnotherapy and CBT
Okay.
can be powerful because it tackles both the conscious and subconscious sides of behavior change.
Interesting. So CBT helps you consciously change your thoughts about food and eating,
Yeah.
while hypnotherapy works on those deeper subconscious motivations and habits. It's like a two-pronged attack.
Exactly. And in addition to the types of hypnotherapy,
Right.
there are also different techniques therapists use during a session.
I'm curious about that. What are some of the techniques people might encounter?
One is called progressive relaxation,
Okay.
where you systematically tense and relax different muscle groups in your body. This induces a state of deep physical relaxation, which calms the mind and makes it more receptive to suggestion.
I've tried progressive relaxation before, not for hypnotherapy, but just to manage stress. It really works. It's amazing how relaxing your body can quiet your mind too.
It really is.
Yeah.
Another common technique is guided imagery. Remember those counter symbols we talked about earlier?
Yeah, picturing those McDonald's arches floating away. It sounds so simple, but I guess that's the power of the subconscious. It responds to those symbolic images.
Right. Guided imagery can be used to create all sorts of positive associations and visualizations that support weight loss goals.
So you could picture yourself making healthy choices.
Yeah.
Enjoying those choices and feeling good about it.
Exactly. Another technique therapists use is called regression.
Regression.
This involves guiding you back to a past event or memory
Okay.
that might be relevant to your current challenges.
So let's say you had a negative experience with food or body image as a child.
Right.
The therapist might help you revisit that memory in a safe, controlled environment.
Precisely. The goal isn't to dwell on the negative,
Okay.
but to gain a new perspective, reframe those experiences in a way that supports healing and growth.
It's like that saying, the child is father to the man. Those early experiences shape our beliefs and behaviors even in adulthood. If you can address those early influences, it might change your present-day choices.
I like that. It shows how interconnected our experiences are.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic. Hypnotherapy isn't a cure-all.
Right.
What are some potential risks
Right.
or things people should be aware of?
Right. It's important to look at both sides of the coin.
One concern people have is losing control during a hypnosis session.
Okay.
Doing something embarrassing or revealing secrets they don't want to share. But that's a misconception, often fueled by stage hypnosis shows.
Right.
Remember, in a clinical setting, you're always in control.
That makes sense. A therapist isn't going to make you cluck like a chicken in a clinical setting. But are there any more serious risks to consider?
We mentioned that people with certain psychiatric conditions, especially those involving psychosis, should avoid hypnotherapy. It could worsen symptoms or create confusion and distress.
And I imagine having a trusting relationship with the therapist is crucial, feeling safe and comfortable with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need a therapist who is qualified and experienced, but also someone you feel a good rapport with.
Okay, so we've covered types of hypnotherapy techniques and potential risks. What else should someone considering this approach keep in mind?
Don't expect a quick fix.
Yeah.
Hypnotherapy is a process requiring active participation, commitment, and integration with other healthy habits.
So it's not about showing up for sessions and magically transforming overnight. It takes effort.
Right. It's about using the tools and insights you gain to make gradual, sustainable changes to your lifestyle. And it's important to remember that not everyone responds to hypnotherapy the same way.
Some people might find it super helpful while others might not see much benefit.
Exactly. It depends on things like susceptibility to hypnosis, the issues being addressed, and overall commitment to change.
It's like any other therapy. What works for one person may not work for another.
Exactly. Approach it with an open mind, realistic expectations, and see if it's a helpful tool for your weight loss journey.
Now, you mentioned the personal story of Jessica Boston. Can you tell us more about her experience and what made it so compelling?
Jessica's story resonated with a lot of people because it reflects the frustration and disillusionment that often comes with weight struggles.
She talked about years of yo-yo dieting.
Yeah.
Feeling trapped, never finding a sustainable approach that worked long-term. It's something a lot of people listening can probably relate to.
It's incredibly common.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by fad diets and quick fix solutions.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a path that nourishes both the body and the mind.
What I found inspiring is that she didn't just lose weight.
Right.
She transformed her whole relationship with food.
That's huge.
She let go of the all-or-nothing mentality, learned to listen to her body's cues, and rediscovered joy in eating.
That's a crucial shift. Moving from restriction to balance and self-care.
Yeah.
It's essential for lasting change.
Her story shows that hypnotherapy can address not just the physical symptoms of weight gain,
Right.
but also the emotional and psychological roots of those challenges.
It highlights the connection between our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Addressing those deeper layers can lead to more holistic and sustainable transformation.
Jessica's story is a powerful example of that potential. In Part 3, we'll explore more about the benefits and limitations of hypnotherapy and leave you with some questions to ponder on your own weight loss journey.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a fascinating topic, and there's always more to learn.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into hypnotherapy for weight loss.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, types of hypnotherapy,
Right.
techniques used, and even potential risks.
Yes.
Now let's shift gears and explore the potential benefits
Okay.
and limitations of this approach.
Yeah, that's good.
One thing that keeps popping up
Yeah?
is that hypnotherapy seems to work best when it's paired with other healthy lifestyle changes.
Right.
Right? Like we talked about earlier, it's not about ditching the diet and exercise.
Exactly. Many of the sources emphasize that hypnotherapy isn't a magic bullet. It's a tool that can support your efforts,
Okay.
but it can't replace making those fundamental changes to your diet and exercise habits.
So it's not about expecting hypnotherapy to do all the heavy lifting for you.
Right.
You still have to put in the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about using hypnotherapy as a way to boost your chances of success, to help you overcome those mental and emotional roadblocks
Yeah.
that might be preventing you from making healthy choices consistently.
Okay. That makes sense. So besides helping with those lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
what other potential benefits did you notice in the research?
One that really stood out is the potential to reduce cravings and emotional eating.
Right.
We discussed how hypnotherapy can tap into the subconscious mind
Yeah.
to address those underlying triggers that make us eat when we're not truly hungry.
It's like when you reach for that bag of chips after a stressful day, not because your body needs fuel,
Right.
but because you're looking for comfort or a distraction. We've all been there.
Yes, exactly. Hypnotherapy can help you become more aware of those emotional eating patterns,
Okay.
equip you with healthier coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
and eventually break those unhealthy associations.
So instead of automatically grabbing the chips,
Mhm.
you might pause, recognize that you're feeling stressed, and choose a more nourishing activity like going for a walk or calling a friend.
That's a great example of how hypnotherapy can help you make more conscious, mindful choices that support your overall well-being.
It's like rewiring those automatic responses that often sabotage our best intentions.
I like that analogy.
Okay.
Another potential benefit is the possibility of boosting your motivation
Okay.
and self-belief.
Some sources mention how hypnotherapy can help people tap into their inner resources and develop a more positive mindset around weight loss.
Right.
Do you think that's a significant factor?
I do. It's about shifting from self-criticism and doubt to self-compassion and empowerment.
Because let's be honest, if you're constantly beating yourself up for every little slip-up, it's so much harder to stay motivated and on track.
Absolutely. Hypnotherapy can help you reframe that inner dialogue,
Okay.
cultivate a more supportive inner voice, and start believing in your ability to achieve your goals.
That sounds really empowering. It's like giving yourself a pep talk that actually resonates deep down.
Exactly. It's about harnessing the power of positive suggestion and self-affirmation
Yeah.
to create a more supportive mental environment for change.
So we've got reduced cravings, healthier coping mechanisms, increased motivation and self-belief. Those are some pretty impressive benefits.
For sure.
But let's be realistic, no approach is perfect. What are some limitations of hypnotherapy?
One that's frequently mentioned is the lack of standardized protocols.
Okay.
The techniques used in hypnotherapy can vary quite a bit from one practitioner to the next.
So it's not like there's a one-size-fits-all approach that's been rigorously tested and proven effective for everyone.
Right. While there are core principles and techniques,
Okay.
the way they're applied can differ depending on the therapist's training and style. This makes it tough to conduct large-scale studies to definitively measure how effective hypnotherapy is for weight loss.
I guess it also highlights how important it is to find a qualified and experienced practitioner who can tailor the approach to your individual needs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about finding a therapist who is not only skilled in hypnotherapy, but also someone who understands your unique challenges and goals.
And as with any therapy, having realistic expectations is key.
Couldn't agree more. Hypnotherapy is not a quick fix.
Right.
It's a process that takes time, commitment, and a willingness to integrate it with other healthy habits.
So it's not about expecting instant results. It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery and gradual transformation.
Well said. Another limitation to remember is that not everyone responds to hypnosis in the same way.
Okay.
Some people might find it incredibly effective, while others might not be as receptive.
I remember some sources mentioning that certain personality traits might make someone more susceptible, but it sounds like there's still a lot we don't know about that aspect of hypnosis.
There's definitely more research to be done to understand the individual factors that influence a person's responsiveness to hypnotherapy.
So it's a bit of a gamble. You might find it incredibly helpful, or it might not be the right fit for you.
That's true. That's why it's important to approach hypnotherapy with an open mind and see if it could be a helpful tool for your weight loss journey.
Okay, so we've covered the potential benefits and limitations, explored different types of hypnotherapy, and heard Jessica Boston's inspiring story.
Yeah, a very powerful story.
What's the key takeaway you'd want listeners to remember from this deep dive?
I think the most important message is that hypnotherapy is a fascinating and potentially powerful tool that can support weight loss, but it's not a magic solution. It's about working with your mind, not against it.
It's not about replacing those crucial lifestyle changes, but about enhancing them. It's about breaking down mental and emotional barriers and creating a more supportive environment for lasting change.
Beautifully put. As you continue on your weight loss journey, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What deeply held beliefs about food or your body might be holding you back from achieving your goals?
That's a great question. Maybe it's a fear of deprivation, a belief that you lack willpower, or a negative body image that keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage.
Yeah, those are really common.
Those can be tough to overcome.
Whatever those beliefs might be, exploring them, challenging them, and reframing them can be a powerful step toward creating a healthier, happier relationship with food and yourself.
And maybe hypnotherapy, or even just some deep self-reflection, can help you uncover and rewire those thought patterns.
Exactly. The journey to a healthier weight is not just about physical changes, but also about transforming your mindset and your relationship with yourself.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into hypnotherapy for weight loss. We hope it's given you some food for thought, pun intended.
It's been a pleasure exploring this fascinating topic with you. Remember, the key is to find what works best for you and to approach your journey with self-compassion and a belief in your ability to create lasting change. Good luck.